Welcome, another talk here with Brent and Dave. Today we're going to discuss, should a CEO be involved with technology? Dave, what do you think?
Well, I think it's critical. It's a part of the key strategy for the organization, right? So if you're a CEO and you don't have a CIO, you are the CIO, right? That's how it's going to work. You know, I think the hardest thing for CEOs, what it comes down to is IT traditionally has a hard time coming up and understanding what the business is trying to do and where they're headed, right? And so the CEO finds himself in a spot of, I got to close that gap. And how am I going to close that gap when my IT guy still wants to deal with tactical infrastructure kind of components, right? I mean a CIO as a strategist in your organization, a key partner that you're working with as the CEO to understand where you're going as a company, where you're headed as an organization, and how technology is going to help you get there, right? Yeah. So if you don't have the CIO and you're the CEO, then you just got a new job. Right. You're the CIO too, right?
When you have more access to data around process, around waste, around efficiency, around productivity, when you have more information like that, you can then enhance systems. And again, it's more information. So what it boils down to, and it's funny because Forrester 2018, February, came out with a new report about tech trends of 18. And one of the trends was data-driven businesses are now starting to outperform traditional businesses. But again, that goes right along to it. If you don't collect data and you're not building the systems to harness this and make decisions, you're kind of falling behind a little bit. And if you don't have a CIO telling you, hey, you need to collect this information and this is how we optimize this process, and you're the CEO of a company, well, that responsibility falls onto you. There's really nobody else in your organization that's going to tell you to do it.
Yeah, I had an interesting conversation with the organization yesterday that we talked about this very thing, and it was all about where they're trying to go and where they're headed. And we talked a lot about culture and values and purpose and mission, and it was so awesome to hear them recognize the role that technology plays in they're reaching those goals, right? We talked about employee engagement and we talked about performance of their current IT. And that's kind of the role at the CIO level, right? It's not about, you don't have to dive in and be an administrator on servers. You're not going to console in to upgrade switches or change configurations on switches. That's not the role of CIO. The CIO is understanding where the organization's going from a strategy standpoint and connecting the tools and capabilities from a technology standpoint to make it all work. Right. But I think CEOs too often get it confused with, well, if I got to be the CIO, then I got to be technical. And then they start to dive into okay, so what kind of switches are you going to deploy? And what kind of firewalls should we have? And do we really need two? And what kind of servers are we going to put on site? And do we need a room for a data closet? And they start to dive into some of the technical aspects of it. And that's not really what they need to be doing. They can be leading a team that can execute. The CIO to me is the connection between the technology capability and the business strategy, and that's where they have to focus.
I agree. I think, and we write about this in our blogs before, but I think we got to squash the notion that CEOs in any way whatsoever should be technical. 96% aren't. That's just a matter of fact. So you're not competing against this huge group of technical CEOs that are out there making all the decisions. The vast majority of everyone out there is non-technical, has a non-technical background. So what we're talking about is not making technical decisions, making business decisions, but having the team in place to enforce those decisions or make them happen to get the results that you want. So we're not trying to say a CEO should be technical by being the CIO. It's that you should understand what's important to your business and actually link some of the players that need to be involved to make it happen. So the customers and companies and clients that we're talking about sometimes are landscaping companies, are pool manufacturers, are smaller businesses. Maybe only have a handful of employees, and it may seem like it's completely unrelated technology, but they're the ones that are moving faster, in that space because they've taken the approach that data can help us make decisions. Therefore, we need to collect data and put better systems in place. So you don't have to be a high-tech company to have this rule apply. Every company today, needs to have that CIO presence.
Yeah, and something I love about being in this small and medium market for our clients is the capabilities that are available today through the cloud and some of the flexibility compute applications and systems and capabilities that are out there are available today to that, whether you're a 15-person organization or a 100-person organization, those same capabilities to be able to do really great things for your business with technology that even 5 years ago would have only been available to large enterprises, right? They were available to the General Motors and the Cisco's and the
cost
IBMs.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
The cost
So-
keeps dropping. Amazon's AWS, they've dropped their price 47 times so far since they've come out. It's going to continue to be the trend. The infrastructure itself, all the technical stuff that has to happen kind of behind the scenes is coming down and down and down and getting easier. So it's actually pretty exciting right now for small businesses. So CEOs, get involved, dig in. It is a part of your responsibility to make sure that the company knows how to use technology to make decisions. So next week we're going to talk about password protection. We'll see you then. Thanks.